Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it?
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it.
This is a Democrat hoax.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
He is now calling it a Democratic hoax.
The Epstein saga is not a hoax.
Evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence.
But the bottom line is the records are getting out.
The president says that a politicized hoax.
What the hell are they afraid of?
2 years ago, we talked about releasing the Epstein files. Last night, I was shocked to hear they voted against releasing the Epstein files.
You got a lot of people that could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be.
And you're really calling the women who were in tears talking about in junior high a hoax? How demeaning, how insulting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Junior high?
In junior high, some about 13, 14 years old.
I wanted to look into the Epstein file cover-up, but I didn't want to risk offending the president or doubting the FBI director's official narrative or making our politicians feel uncomfortable by asking too many questions. You know what? Fuck that. I'm not apologizing for anything. It's time to go gloves off. These people are
Gloves
lying to us.
off.
I don't care whether it's Biden,
Tommy crashes out.
Trump. If you are in charge of our country and you're hiding, protecting a billionaire sex trafficking your ring, then we, the people, are coming after you and have every right to demand the answers. In fact, we pay each and every day with our paycheck to demand answers and accountability from you. And our president, Donald Trump, actually talked about the Epstein files. Here's what him and his administration said before they won the election.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
It's pretty sick what that man did. 200 victims, well over 250 actually.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI. As a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there.
And now he's on a different side. Now he has a completely
You
different
can't see that. Nothing to see here.
viewing point on what
And
he
now
said. I'll be right
that
back.
these people are in power, here's what they are saying.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. This is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
20 years ago, or whenever it was, 2006, 7, 8, Epstein gets his sweetheart plea deal, right? I wasn't in power there. I wasn't in place there. I had, nothing to do with it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
I put out a poll on my YouTube channel, and 115,000 of you replied. And 96% of you said that the government is a bunch of filthy liars when it comes to the official narrative on the Epstein story. So me and my team boarded a plane and we flew to Washington, D.C. to launch a full-scale investigation. In doing so, we talked to United States senators, guys like Chuck Schumer, Ron Johnson,
that shit really blew my shit, bro. Like, I genuinely, no, boss, I didn't try to fight or nothing, bro. I seen on here, and somehow motherfuckers see me. Like, come on, man.
One of the top conspiracy theory experts on the internet, Mr. Ian
Like, I was not trying to fucking fight them,
bro.
bro.
A guy by the name of Mike Yeagley, a man who works with all of your favorite three-letter agencies and claims to have seen a version of the Epstein files himself. We get into this and much more.
A man who claims to be a part of your favorite three-letter
man, amazing
agency.
car. When did you become a millionaire?
He's talking about Jewish people.
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million last year.
I'm not filtering myself, man. Tommy just took a shot at the Jews, man.
We are here in Washington, D.C., the beating heart of where it all goes down. And today we're looking into what might be the biggest cover-up in American history, the Epstein file list. The fact that the elites, the billionaires, the well-connected might be in a ring right before our eyes, and they are lying.
That's how they all know each other.
This is a Democrat hoax. They're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
And I want you to suspend your tribalism for a moment. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, or somewhere in between. This is about the truth. This isn't about one party or the other. I actually think they're probably both complicit in this. We're going to get to the bottom of this because I think this is very important. So join me as we question, and we do one of the most American things there is, which is to question authority, demand the truth, and get the knowledge out to the people, we the people, who fund all of this. Let's begin.
My name's Ian Carroll, and I'm an independent journalist, researcher, content creator, and my slogan is follow the money, seek the truth. Jeffrey Epstein was an unqualified math teacher for the wealthiest of the wealthy, that then got recruited to be an unqualified banker, that then kind of failed out of banking during a scandal, and somewhere in there he got hooked up with human traffickers and blackmailers and started what appears to be the world's largest known sexual blackmail trafficking ring.
One of the guys leading the charges of encouraging the government to release the files is Representative Ro Khanna from California. Ro Khanna, a Democratic congressman representing San Francisco, is co-leading the charge with Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie to force a release of the Epstein files. Seen on popular podcasts like Theo Von and Flagrant, he is a politician who is determined to be transparent. He's coming to the Airbnb. Hey, good to meet you. How are you?
Meet you.
Thank you for coming through.
He had this whole scheme where if you were rich and if you were powerful, you basically got away with assaulting girls. And then these rich and powerful men said, what are you going to do about it?
Proceeded to blackmail most of the most powerful people all around the world, which now is the story that's broken all over everyone's newspapers.
Ellen DeGeneres is definitely freaked out.
He took that blackmail ring straight into the White House and visited Bill Clinton 17 times in the White House with the likes of Robert Maxwell and Ehud Barak, directly linked to the Israeli government,
freaked out.
And Leslie Wexner bankrolled Jeffrey Epstein. And that's not just a matter of speech. He signed over power of attorney to Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein could have sold Victoria's Secret on behalf of Leslie Wexner.
I gotta say, I don't wear a suit off anymore, but I feel at least 10 IQ points higher right now. I feel good. I feel quite patriotic today. Getting the chance to talk to our elected officials and demand accountability, to me,
Yo, Tommy G's really attacking all angles, bro.
To be an American.
Oh, you watching Tommy G? Share your screen.
I'm live right now on Twitch.
Oh, alright, okay. Let me just watch on Twitch.
I would, but it would just make my stream lag.
So we're here with Representative Nancy Mace, one of the people that is leading the charge to expose the Epstein files. Let's just start with the basics. Do you think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Well, we don't have the camera evidence. We don't. I mean, wasn't the
I'm watching
hanging
his
with the camera,
video.
wasn't
His
there?
video on the Jeffrey Epstein file
You
cover
don't
up.
think that there are suspicious details surrounding his death?
Chill
The
on Twitch.
Security cameras.
My
matches
Twitch
are going off.
is
The security
Niners.
guards following
Niners
him.
Reborn.
Being on suicide watch, but still having access to
No uppercase,
material.
everything lowercase, no
I
spaces.
think
Niners
it's
Reborn.
suspicion, and I think we've got to keep getting the files out. But that may be something we never are able to figure out.
I got 29 followers, and Spider-Man has my
This is
profile
Mike
picture
Yates.
holding up
He's
money.
an independent contractor, data analyst, and security specialist who provides critical intelligence support to elite military units and to the three-letter agencies that everyone watching this is familiar with. In other words, Mike's skill set is that in real time, he can track the location of nearly anyone in the world using specialized methods, and three-letter agencies hire him for this reason. He says in his possession is a version of the Epstein files, and he speaks on his theories based on the information he's reviewed. School teacher without a degree that magically got worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars.
It's kind of like congressmen that come to Washington with a net worth of $100,000, and 3 years later they've got $8.4 million net worth. How did that happen?
Oh my goodness.
Hi, I'm Jeff. I'm a former workers' compensation judge, and I used to represent insurance.
Former workers' compensation judge.
Who is Ghislaine Maxwell?
She was the madam. She was the one female that could talk to an impressionable 15-year-old girl who wanted to be a model for the limited.
Basically grooming these young girls and bringing them to Epstein. She was there recruiting more junior high and high school students for Epstein. She was part of the abuse. And for her to now get pardoned is a slap in the face of every survivor.
Do you think it's possible that that's going to happen?
This president is capable of anything. I also thought it was a slam dunk he would release the Epstein files. Something is there that's forcing him not to release it.
Ghislaine Maxwell is the daughter of Robert Maxwell.
Something's there.
That was an interesting character. There's no doubt about that.
Yo.
Ghislaine Maxwell was Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime that made this
Chill out, man.
And
Keeping it
she has a very
PG-13.
interesting background. She's pictured here with her father.
Appreciate the follow,
Robert
man.
Maxwell, who happened to be a media mogul, a textbook publisher, a known asset of Mossad, and he died under very suspicious circumstances.
He is very well known to have worked for Israel and Mossad through most of his life. Robert Maxwell was in publishing. He was a publisher, a power publisher, and his operation very much seems to be an influence operation.
Been hitting
focused around
push-ups, bro, so my
information and
fucking
publishing.
chest has
Largely
just been
text-
like,
the educational
ah!
we all grew up reading.
So it's possible that the social studies book that I read in class in 5th grade, that Robert Maxwell.
I like how Tommy G
Ghislaine
just goes from
Maxwell's
like going
dad,
to the worst hood on the
Jeffrey
planet
Epstein's
to going to the
father-in-law,
White House to
in a
interview
way,
somebody about the Epstein files.
had a hand in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, you heard that right. Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father,
Yeah,
was a
what do you
textbook
mean?
mogul whose company, Macmillan Inc., made a joint
Bro,
venture
he's a
with
legend,
McGraw
bro.
Hill, and this partnership made them the second biggest publisher of American textbooks in the late 80s and early 90s. In fact, you may have used one of his books to study in your class at school. And while it is not official that he was working for Israel or Mossad, he was a British citizen that was given a lavish funeral in a historic Israeli cemetery that was reportedly attended by the Israeli president,
Oh
top
my-
Israeli intelligence officials, and the eulogy was given by their prime minister, who said that Maxwell was
Epstein's
almost a
linked to
mythological
Mossad?
figure. Yeah, it sounds like it. So it seemed that at least one thing Epstein and Maxwell had in common was having frequent contact with Israeli prime ministers. But more on that later in this episode.
He had stolen all kinds of crazy money, and then he just
Some
fell off
crazy
the boat
shit, huh, Chop?
and
That's
died.
crazy as
And all the
fuck,
money
bro.
went missing. No one ever found it. I've heard some interesting theories about how Epstein seems to have turned up with a very similar amount of money, basically that same year.
And what happened is there was a cover-up. Epstein got a slap on the wrist. There was no one who talked to the survivors. And a lot of other rich and powerful men who he farmed out underage girls to basically have not been held accountable. Thomas Massey and I, Republican, Democrat, have said release
Oh,
the
yo, they
file.
be on
And
some
we
freak shit off that
called the
joint.
survivors
Freak
to
shit.
Steps to the Capitol for 10 years. No one had heard them.
Freak
They
shit.
Yo,
started
bro,
telling their
freaky
stories.
ass old men, bro.
But I wasn't the only one.
No, bro, shit.
None of us were.
Well, if a country can't stand up for survivors,
I feel like I haven't heard much from the survivors of that shit too. Like they're kind of getting like silenced.
It's a moral issue, and we're gonna.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I don't hear shit about the Epstein
A lot
like
of independent
all them
survivors.
billionaires,
cheered
like,
for Trump.
Yeah,
all
bro,
them
they-
billionaires.
They have too much
When
money,
they
bro.
campaigned on was releasing the
Said, I know they
Epstein
listening
files. He is
right now, but
calling
it's
it a
like,
Democratic hoax. Also, but
I
then
know
at the
what y'all
same
doing,
time,
you
he's
freak
a
balls.
key contributor.
Yeah,
to
we
Trying
know
to
what
get
you're
a nut off
doing.
on a
Bring it
fucking
down.
8-year-old
Which
girl,
one
you
is it?
weirdo.
Recently, Speaker of the
Nah,
House,
yo,
Mike Johnson,
you ever heard of
claimed-
the, hold on, wait, let me turn my shit down so I don't hear you twice.
Alright, bro.
Bro, the John, I call him
Then Mr. Mike
the dollar
Johnson
store
changed
nut
his story to
master. When a
this.
cuss nutted on the bitch's leg in Dollar General.
Oh yeah, nah, bro. That was
That was around
So
no
this
bullshit.
guy,
That's the
that's
Dollar
third
General
in
my
line of
mom goes to. Like, she literally
isn't
goes
sure
around the
whether
corner.
Trump is
Like,
an
you know what I'm saying?
FBI
Like,
informant or
that's
not.
just
And
the,
because
like,
the White House narrative
in the
on
plot.
Epstein
You know what I'm saying? The little
changes so
lot joint around
fast,
the
my
corner of South
question to
Philly.
Nancy Mace was,
Bro,
nutted
that
on
was
one of the bitch's
crazy.
leg. He ran out. He did it twice, too.
Media who
That
blinds
shit was
us.
crazy.
So like, I get his frustration. They're trying to portray
Nuts.
him as this horrible human being.
Was the girl
He's not the
underage?
bad guy. He's not the boogeyman.
I have
of this.
no clue,
The
bro,
boogeyman
but she
is dead.
sounded
And
like
his little black box,
underage.
Who knows where
Yeah,
it is?
she sounded
And I
pretty
do
young.
think there is a massive cover-up. I don't think Trump. He has nothing to do with it.
I read something that 1,000 FBI agents are working around the clock to redact his name in particular.
ABC News and other outlets reported in July of 2025 that Pam Bondi allegedly told Trump that his name was in the Epstein files. Then, Senator Dick Durbin made the allegation that the FBI was having agents work around the clock to cover for Trump. Now, if the claims of Senator Durbin are true, it is disturbing to learn what lengths this administration will go to cover this story up.
We don't
Now
have
imagine what else they're
to
covering up.
dedicate to one thing like that. They're just
So
it's just
possible
Burdusky.
nonsense story.
physically impossible.
Shit, let me get geeked and get some food. So I see you doing growing up right now.
fatta di ideali, di cambiamento, che conquisterà milioni di
The
cuori.
fuck is this?
We know
That looks like a scary
Shit,
movie, low key.
yo,
in
you-
the files.
You,
What makes you sure?
you got
Hank
the drawing
Johnson
where
is a
like
Democrat
I'll type and
congressman
it comes
from
up on the
Georgia.
right side of
Here
the
with
screen
his
or
take
not?
on the current state
Oh,
of
nah, I
Epstein
don't.
cover-up.
Devin, bro, I'll tell Devin to tell you to do it.
FBI agent.
The website
Devin taught
for
me
it?
how to do it. Yeah, the Devin taught me how to do it. He was like, I stream on Twitch and TikTok. Well, since I reset my PC, It's not
is
there, but
not
no, you Devin. So
a
like, you know what I'm
hoax.
saying?
It's not
Yeah.
fake.
So like you would put
It's
put
real.
your Niner stuff, put it up
Thousands
top, and like
victims,
you know what I'm
not
saying,
just
like a
from the
row,
United
like
States of
you feel me?
America,
Instagram,
from
Twitch, YouTube,
across the
and then the
world.
right side would be the
Not
chat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah, I
20
was trying
years
to. I
ago,
think I know the
somebody
website.
put
My
it in
man
the
sent it
press,
to me.
And the
I
story
done
was
this. I don't know.
described as a
Devin
news
just
cycle that
did it
lasted
for me.
20 minutes on with Tim Russert. You could get away with that. I don't think you should get away with that.
I'm watching this shit. This
Now
shit
they're saying,
interesting.
what force is so powerful that even Donald Trump is not able to
pearled
release
this shit.
these files?
I saw that for the petition to release the files, only 4
Pearl.
Republicans put their name
Pearly.
on it.
Pearly Johnson.
3 of them women.
Pearly
Lauren Boebert,
Johnson.
MTG,
Okay, yeah.
Nancy Mace,
Yeah.
and
Massey.
Massey. Where the hell are the rest of the Republicans on this?
The
How could you
oversight- well,
possibly
the o-
vote against it?
Well, it hasn't come.
Wait,
to
is
us
that the,
yet. So we just signed our names
the
to it. Once it
the
gets
draw
to
from
18
the
very
big bag or
soon,
no?
then
That's a
it'll
different
come to
shit.
the floor.
Yeah, it's from the
Let's
bigger
look more
bag,
at the
like my
question of
regular
why
shit.
Republicans are largely not
But I got
willing to release
the
Epstein
got
files.
the
Well, first,
the
let's
crazy
consider that
shit
the
right
Trump
here.
administration allegedly declared it to be a hostile act. if
I
they
got the
voted for
crazy
the
shit.
release.
The crazy shit is
Interesting.
right
To
here.
the common man, it
Look like
appears
I bet
most
you ain't never
Republicans
see
are
this.
compromising their integrity because they are intimidated or afraid of Donald Trump, allegedly. And to me, the story of a party acting
Fuck is
spineless to
that?
protect
2008
their
sour
doing
diesel.
what they are supposed to do, which is represent us,
Oh,
their voting
shit.
base, is similar to when the Democrats
What is
pretended
this
that
about?
former
Yeah,
President Joe
juice,
Biden
huh?
was not a
I don't even want
dementia
to talk
patient
about
running for
game.
re-election.
I
The
got.
bottom
Let's
line
just say
is
I got
lying or
graped.
covering for your party is
Like
cowardly,
I didn't even
and
want to
we as
fight, bro.
Americans
I
should be
hit
mad
it all,
when
and they
either
found me.
side does this.
Wait, we don't have a base?
No, we do not have a fucking base, bro.
I don't
I
have
got
base
great.
supplies, so
I got great.
Surprisingly, we're
Absolutely
getting one of the
great.
top Democrats, probably the top
Alright,
Democrat,
we're solo.
Chuck Schumer, to speak to
No
us.
clue.
I'm about to call him.
Hey.
Get him back. Actually, I can't call him. I'm watching something. I'm gonna text him.
I'm a call.
Alright, bet. Where'd you meet, Hudson Damani from?
Where did I? Oh, definitely.
Fuck. Oh, he said he's on the phone.
By the way, this is the original
I guess
Global
it's coming
Steward
up
of
this
George
thing.
Washington.
Really?
They used it for
Shit,
the
I'll-
portrait of the dollar
I'm
bill.
making
Isn't
my
that
way.
amazing?
This is a beautiful building.
Chop, load back
Isn't
in
it?
when you
Yeah.
We
can.
tried to pass a
Alright,
resolution.
There's going to be a
prompt
queue
the
probably.
release of the Epstein files.
Right, we did. They don't want to vote on it, but we found a good way to force them to vote on it today, and we did. And they're squirming because so many of them have said. Mitch McConnell has said release the Epstein files. John Thune has said release the Epstein files. Marsha Blackburn has said it. Tom Johnson has said it. They've all said it. Now they get a vote, and they vote to keep concealing it.
Why?
Seems like every
The hell are
politician
they
before
afraid of?
they're
They're either
involved,
covering up
they
for
have a
Donald
completely
Trump, who
different
we
story
know
towards
is
the
worried
Epstein
about these
files
'cause he
than
lied about
after.
it
Like
constantly.
before they're
He's the
involved,
one
they
who
think the
made the
Epstein
campaign
files has
issue
everybody
out
on
of
it.
this. He said
They
release
get
the
involved with
Epstein
bigger
files.
politicians. Now they don't know nothing. Now, oh no, I don't care about the
They're
Epstein
the ones who
file.
pushed to release the files, and frankly, a good number of the people, even on the MAGA right, said release the files as well, because they thought, hey,
Bro, this nigga wants me to
maybe
go to
this
an
shows that
Airbnb,
Donald
bro. I'm not
Trump is
trying to
part of the
go.
whole
Who?
corrupt
Shit,
scheme
44 minutes
that he
away.
claims to want to undo.
hell
No one believes Trump.
Fucking Angel. It's Angel's 21st birthday today,
So
tomorrow,
last night we
bro.
met
So he's
with
having a party, bro. But I'm not
Senate
trying
Minority
to
Leader
go.
Chuck Schumer, and they
Hit
forced
him
him
with the
to
listen,
try
gang.
and
Mom's
release
sick
the
right
Epstein
now.
files.
You know, I
And,
can't come up
it
with ribs
failed
right now.
51 to 49.
Gotta help
I was supposed to go to a costume party, but bro, I'm not even gonna end up going.
Wisconsin Governor Ron Johnson, who voted against
But
it.
bro, like, I don't even
we
want to
have to have
go,
a
bro.
very
I hate,
candid
like, that shit's mad
conversation
boring.
because 2 years ago.
And don't go,
he wanted to
gangsta.
release
Tell
the
him,
files.
nah, gang. I got better
That there's anything
plans.
fishy
All they
about
gonna do is
Jeffrey
all they
Epstein.
gonna do is
Bro.
shit, like
The cover
Oh,
up
you don't
of
drink?
the list of
Exactly, bro. You
individuals
got
that
me
visit
to go
Epstein
there.
Island.
Realistically, if you don't drink, you
is
got
pretty
nothing to go.
fishy. I will say, I think the truth
how do you
is
need the
mainly
booze back?
people of the left
Yeah.
that Jeffrey
like-
Epstein was courting and that took advantage
Gonna
of
be
his
loaded
island
shit.
pleasures.
Don't you feel like anyone that's on that list should be looked into?
hold on, give you
Well, I
like
think we
4
should
more
have a full
bullets.
investigation of
Bro, this
Jeffrey
nigga not
Epstein
gonna
and
answer,
his
like-
activities.
Does it feel like it's been kind of
I'm just gonna tell him about it. I'm not
brushed
even
away?
gonna say that. I'm
We're gonna find
Tell
more
him
out
I
in
gotta
just
go.
a few minutes here.
About to give
You got any? You got any wood?
Nah, but I got a
Hello.
hatchet.
How are you?
Bro, this nigga.
Good. I'm Tommy. I'm here for an
I
interview.
swear this bitch ass
with,
nigga never answers the phone, bro.
And then look,
I
I
answer.
mean, who knows? This might be true, but otherwise, this is the
hate
culture
niggas
war
like
is getting
that shit,
fanned
bro.
with this. I wonder if a
You
foreign
got a
country
phone,
would
bro.
like
Answer.
it if we were divided about that kind of stuff.
Where you at?
In Washington, Donald Trump loaded up the Supreme
I mean,
Court to
I'm all
overturn
right.
Roe v. Wade.
I'm
You
like,
have to ban it.
I'm a couple good. No, yeah, you good, you good.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't get out of my map.
It's fucking nighttime too, bro. Fuck. Like little bro, I seen him and tried to hide, and I guess he was had looking and seen him.
When we met,
I'm
we
finna
talked
give you
about
this
releasing
Tommy
the
I got.
Epstein files. Last night, I was shocked to hear there was a resolution on the floor, and it didn't
Can't
pass.
see
You
shit
voted against it, 49 to 51, against releasing the Epstein files.
Well, I understand that was a poison pill in a process of trying to pass the National Defense Authorization Act. First of all, I'm as curious as anybody.
More. How are you? I'm Tommy. Nice to meet you guys. Where would you like us to set up?
Do you have a hatchet?
Yeah, I literally just
An
made
absolute honor. My name's Tommy. Nice to meet you.
I think one of the things that really annoys people is they think, well, maybe some rich people don't have the same justice. I'm just an ordinary person. I live in a middle-class home, but this really rich guy can do stuff, you know, that if I did, I'd go to jail. And I think that's the way I look at the Epstein thing. I don't have any facts about it. I'm not consumed by it. But at the same time, I think that there's a perception out there that wealthy people got away with stuff and that something's being hidden.
So you started out talking about Epstein. It's certainly not my priority, but let's start out, truthfully. Let's start out and talk about what happened yesterday. What happened to Charlie Kirk dwarfs, I mean, the Epstein file is dwarfed by the implications of what happened.
Senator Johnson, I agree with all of these points. I agree, but I do feel like we are derailing from the Epstein file. You had...
Again, we'll get to the Epstein files. I don't have that much to say about them because I don't know anything about them.
Why did you vote against release?
Because that was a charade. That was a poison pill trying to derail the passage of the National Defense Authorization Act. The Epstein
Yo,
files
Angel just
will
called me. He
eventually
said he got an Airbnb in Kissimmee.
okay?
We followed up with a couple Senate offices to see
Yeah.
if they knew what Ron Johnson meant by this poison pill theory.
I don't know. Jordan, Victor, and all them not out there.
As we were.
You spoke with some of those victims last
Yeah.
week. What can you tell the American people what you learned in
Bro,
that meeting?
can you just say I'm not over there?
Well, I think my face showed it all. I left the meeting
Oh, where you at?
really in tears.
Oh, yeah,
It
you
was
went to
just really,
the
I'm
Halloween
going
party.
through something that's very raw and very similar.
Oh.
I'm about just under 2 years into my own trauma. I want to say that these women are very,
Well, I don't know. Maybe if
very
you wanted to
brave.
pull up
Can I
for
ask you a
something.
question about that? Yeah, sure. So how does it feel to have your whole party turning against you, to have the president turning against you, to have all this political...
Some have the opinion that, just couch what you're saying.
And then what if I still do that and he still sues me?
Well, it'd be great for your career.
You don't think he'll win?
No.
So it's a nonsense lawsuit just to scare people?
Yep.
And would it get thrown out by most reasonable people?
Yeah, because he's a public figure. They're both public figures, so they'd have to show that you have actual malice toward him. Also, I just wouldn't be too afraid of this.
This brings us to the bigger issue of free speech. If publications and journalists are scared into silence or sued into bankruptcy, this sets a dangerous precedent for journalism in this country. And in fact, a week after these interviews were filmed, Trump has now also sued the New York Times for $15 billion, also for defamation. So before I comment more on this Epstein story, first a quick disclaimer. In case Donald Trump or his lawyers see this, I just want to make it absolutely clear that his signature on the birthday card is totally fake and it's fake news. And so just to show you how fake it is, we're going to compare it to real signatures from Donald Trump. Here, you guys can see it for yourself. Now that we've conclusively proved that it's not real, let's move on to another subject. Are they being blackmailed, threatened,
Well, that's
extorted?
the question. Who's controlling this? What are the powerful interests? Why is there such a reluctance to release it? It's like they're making it a bigger story every day that they don't release it.
Would he be acting in a way where he is?
Nah, yeah, I just went to get some cereal.
It's hard to explain.
I just had some
From a technical perspective, I don't think there's
I mean,
anything
Cookie Crisp.
that he needs to avoid. That technical information is available.
He's saying it's a nothing story and it's a hoax. Do you believe
No.
I believe that there are Democrats
No.
that are using it as a wedge.
Mossad made
a
that dance.
Wedge,
Yeah.
and they're trying to infer that he's a nefarious
Mossad?
person. I do think that that is part of what he's describing when he says hoax. I don't think nobody thinks that these women are lying.
Mhm.
Nobody does. Absolutely nobody.
I think it's hard to look at this situation and say, yeah, Donald Trump is being very transparent and he's not trying to bury this. He's trying to say that when people ask him in a press conference, like, why are you even asking about this? How dare you? This is old news.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Do you think these files should be released completely unredacted for all of us to see?
Well, yes, I believe in full disclosure of the files, releasing all the names, everything, but we would need to ensure that we redact for any child sexual abuse material or CCM underage kids.
Sure.
And that we would redact the names of victims. So that would be my only caveat to that. Yes, release it all. And for that, I'm on the bill. I've signed the discharge petition, and I will be voting for the bill when it comes to the floor of the House in a couple of weeks.
And we applaud you for that. Honestly, it's refreshing to see people going for transparency.
Yeah.
So people are very happy that you're doing that. Let's talk facts about the relationship between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. He previously said, I don't know the guy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he knew the guy.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
So there are 5 people taking the 5th Amendment, like you see on the mob, right? You see the mob takes the 5th. If you're innocent, why are you taking the 5th Amendment?
I know I'm not friends with any professional sex traffickers or pedophiles. I think, like, when you're...
Yeah.
This, to me, is suspicious of... You said you didn't know the guy. We were tired of it.
I mean, he's been photographed with him. I mean, they...
Yeah, we were tired during the Biden administration of lies. A lot of us, especially independents, were like, man, this is the time that the veil is actually going to get peeled back. The JFK files, the Epstein files. There's going to be transparency. A guy that was targeted by the justice system is now going to... And it seems like, to the average person watching this, that our very own president is part of
Can we
it.
at least agree a birthday card, as gross as that is, has nothing to do with trafficking? I mean, there's no...
No, not at all. But he says he didn't know the guy. You knew the guy.
Well, aside from the numerous photos that they've had together, aside from the new reporting about the birthday book and the letters that he sent to him that's coming out.
Allegedly.
Aside from all of the statements from both of them that they were very close friends, aside from everyone that saw them hanging out together all through the 80s, aside from all that, yeah, we don't really know.
Why specifically did Trump and Epstein have a falling out, apparently?
Trump claims that Epstein took staff from his spa, took Virginia Giuffre and maybe others from his hotel.
And how old was Virginia at this time?
I believe that she was 16,
16.
at the time that she was taken from the spa. I don't
remember
know for
that.
Sure. I know that she was 17 with Andrew. When you're talking about victims,
Prince
like,
Andrew?
it feels like it matters extra to tell their story as truly as you can to what they said, because of everything they've gone through, and especially Virginia, who not only went through the recruitment, the grooming, the abuse for years, but also everything since, and the bravery to tell the story and to, in one way or another, give her life to the story and to the victims in general to expose this. We owe her a great deal. I can't imagine that 2 dudes as close as Trump and Epstein were back then, that are into the evil things that Epstein was definitely into, and the questionable things that Donald Trump has openly talked about having been into.
Such as
Pageantry, such as walking into the dressing rooms at his pageants while they are changing.
Donald Trump loves a beauty pageant, and by his own admission, he was no stranger backstage while owning parts of 3 different pageants for nearly 2 decades.
You know, they're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
I find it hard to imagine that they're breaking up their whole friendship because one of them was trying to recruit employees from a spa. Who knows? Everyone has their own theories, but I suspect that Trump is implicated in the files in some ways. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that he committed a crime. Doesn't mean that he ever had sex with a minor. Doesn't mean they have him on camera doing anything. It could just mean that he did business deals alongside these people.
Parents of children who play Roblox. If your child was sexually exploited, abused, or pressured to share explicit content by someone
Yo, look
they
at
met
this. What the fuck?
on Roblox, you may qualify to
over the years.
Folks, when I hear
crazy.
about the
That ad is
mysterious
crazy.
and nefarious character of Jeffrey Epstein, it makes you wonder what he was like in person. In 2002, Trump said, quote, "He's a great guy." But Melinda Gates, who met him once, described her meeting with him like this.
He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
In fact, her husband Bill Gates' relationship with Epstein was so disturbing that it was a key reason she ended her marriage of 27 years to one of the world's richest men. And because Trump considered Epstein to be a great guy and even invited him to a second wedding in 1993, I was curious what caused Trump to stop being pals with Epstein. Here's what Trump said about it.
But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it.
Other people would come and complain, this guy is taking people from the spa. I didn't know that. And then when I heard about it, I told them, I said, listen, we don't want you taking our people, whether it was spa or not spa. He was fine, and then not too long after that, he did it again, and I said, out of here.
Did one of those stolen, persons, does that include Virginia Jeffrey?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa.
Another theory on Trump and Epstein's falling out speculates that it was a bidding war on a 60,000 square foot mansion that contributed towards the end of their friendship, allegedly.
So hypothetically, you could speculate on the Epstein files.
Hypothetically, I could say that one could name names, the names that everybody wants to know.
But from what you've seen, is President Trump implicated in the files?
I don't know. If there was something in there that was damning to him as a man, let alone candidate, I think that shit would have come out during the election, during the criminal trials. I think the Democrats would have gotten it out if there was something there.
Mike Yeagley brings up a point that a lot of Republicans have also said, which is why is it that much of the mainstream media and many of the Democrats seemingly refuse to cover Epstein and Trump's relationship until now? It doesn't make sense to me either. If the files are so damaging to Trump, why didn't the left unleash this on him during the election cycle, which surely would have been the strategic move? Or is it possible that the damage the Epstein files will cause is so great to both Democrats and Republicans that both sides are too scared for the files to truly come out? I'd love to hear your theory in the comments.
I try to avoid the Trump side of it because there is a whole rabbit hole to go down on Trump of his history with people like Roy Cohn, his history with Epstein, his history with these business deals and with these pageants and all these things. But ultimately, I care more about the Epstein files themselves because they're way bigger than Trump. It's not just Trump that's implicated. It's our entire government. It's our entire deep state apparatus.
Allegedly.
That's the thing about blackmail. You don't know who's controlled. You don't know who's compromised. We don't know how many strings are being pulled.
If you had to speculate, what kind of people are on this list as far as the positions they hold, the power they have?
I think you would see high-profile media types, university presidents, CEOs beyond those that have already been called out, actors, rappers. You might see a religious figure here and there.
Do you think foreign intelligence operatives are involved in this?
I do.
Can you speak more about how this could be a honeypot operation?
I think a lot of Americans don't have a strong understanding of how blackmail works because it's not something that we deal with in our regular lives. And I think that a lot of Americans are starting to think about it more and understand it more. And most people arrive at the very surface level first and they think that's the whole story. You'd think it's like, oh, you get them on camera having sex with a minor and then you own them and they do everything you tell them to. And ultimately, that's not the only form of blackmail or honeypot that works. And ultimately, it's never that simple. Everyone does things in their life that they're ashamed of, that they would rather be able to take back. But that blackmail that you have from your past baggage, it never goes away. And so as you achieve a position of power later in life, you bring all that baggage with you, for better and for worse. And if anyone can find it and exploit it, then maybe you are about to work for them.
Do you think it's likely that Jeffrey Epstein was part of an intelligence agency and this was a honeypot operation to compromise people with blackmail?
I think that every option is on the table. I think it's an absolute possibility. I think, I've never seen a honeypot operation, but I've heard stories of honeypot operations in our country, other countries, that it's a thing that they do. Davos, for example, that there are stories of prostitutes that show up and all these things go on. You have to think to yourself, we're not that stupid or that gullible. Somebody's filming something somewhere and going to hold it over someone's head for some deal. I would be shocked if that does not go on.
Now, this is the infamous jet, the Lolita Express, that some of the most influential and powerful people in the world took this jet to places like his island, where they did unspeakable things with minors. And this is likely part of the whole blackmail operation. But let me draw your attention to the fact of this. Now, how did Epstein get this jet? Well, he bought it from none other than our friend Leslie Wexner, the guy that owns Victoria's Secret. And not only did he buy the jet from him, but he also happened to be this billionaire's financial advisor, even though Jeffrey Epstein got fired from Wall Street.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
What qualifications did Epstein have to advise billionaires on their financial assets? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Who is Leslie Wexner?
Leslie Wexner is one of the wealthiest and most powerful Jewish Zionist philanthropists and business owners in the world. He's a multi-billionaire. He lives in Ohio. He's from Ohio. And he founded L Brands, which is best known for Victoria's Secret. It's also Bath & Body Works. It's also Hollister, Abercrombie.
What the fuck?
Leslie Wexner
What?
had Jeffrey Epstein managing basically his whole estate for over a decade. He later claimed that Jeffrey stole money from him and that he didn't know anything about what Jeffrey Epstein was up to, because it's plausibly deniable, because he had signed over power of attorney. So Jeffrey Epstein could have done anything and he would never have known. So it's awfully coincidental. And then it's also coincidental that his other giant company, Hollister, Abercrombie & Fitch, that was run by a pedophile too.
Bro, I got a fucking Hollister hoodie right now.
Fitch in, I believe, 98 or late 90s.
Bro, I have a Hollister hoodie.
CEO to turn the company around. And Abercrombie bought Hollister. They started targeting more young people. They launched all of the fashion catalogs for the young male model thing. And it turns out that that CEO that he put in was running a giant male sexual pedophile ring. And he was flying these young male models to like go and have crazy orgies with all sorts of messed up shit going on all around the world. And that guy just got popped last year, and they wrapped it up with the insanity defense because he has Alzheimer's and he can't remember. So it's just kind of weird that Leslie Wexner, who was the bankroll behind Jeffrey Epstein, had two different running two of his giant fashion brands in the modeling industry, and no one's ever asked him a single question. He's still a billionaire living in a mansion in Ohio, and he's completely free.
Do you see any overlap between the Epstein story and Israel?
I don't know, because I don't know what the files are. So there are some people who have alleged that Mossad is involved, or that there are a foreign intelligence involved.
Mossad is involved?
What I do know from Bradley Edwards, the lawyer of the victims, is he says that there are foreign actors involved.
Now, you might be wondering who some of the shadowy figures leaving Epstein's house masked up are. Well,
bro, they just said that Mossad is possibly on the Epstein list.
Prime Minister Ehud Barak. What was he doing there?
We have recent email leaks from Ehud Barak that is his
holy
entire
shit, we got the Jews connected to Jeffrey Epstein before fucking
every
GTA
day,
6.
Multiple times a day, direct contact about basically everything that they were doing. But he also visited him frequently, and there's a whole year of time where Ehud Barak's known visits to Epstein were monthly on a schedule. Most people were visiting Epstein in what seemed like a leisure sense, but Ehud Barak was visiting him on a regular schedule. And he was also sneaking in and out of Epstein's mansion in disguise. Jeffrey Epstein referred not just Ehud Barak, but also Benjamin Netanyahu to JP Morgan. That's the current Prime Minister of Israel. Why is a random lone referring the current Prime Minister of Israel to JP Morgan?
Allegedly.
Oh, that's very well proven.
I'm scared of getting sued.
Yeah.
One theory we heard is that Trump's not in the files in a bad way, but the reason that he's protecting it is because the fallout could be so great that it could collapse governments, it could collapse things.
So and I've said this on 9/11 as well. It's the Jack Nicholson, that comment. Can you handle the truth?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It's a legitimate responsibility of the leader to take a look at something and go, this is probably better kept hidden.
It's possible that what he is protecting or trying to avoid would be a crisis, considering hypothetically who is probably involved.
So you think no matter who this impacts, we should go after them?
Absolutely.
You and other Republicans, if top Republicans were named on the Epstein file, would you guys be willing to take care of them and to make sure that they are answered to their crimes?
I think regardless of party, if you're a child rapist, you should see capital punishment. You should get the death penalty.
Americans can handle the truth. Americans deserve the truth from their government.
I think we will pass the House, which is a huge issue, with the MAGA House passing it. And I think there'll be a lot of momentum to pass it in the Senate. But then Donald Trump can veto it.
What are the implications if we don't release the Epstein files?
When John F. Kennedy was president, trust in America was 60%. Today it's in the teens. People don't believe the government's working for them. People believe the rich and powerful don't have accountability. People believe that the whole thing is rigged. And they elected Trump partly to unrig it. And now they see 7 months in, he's part of the whole swamp. If we don't have the release,
I have been seeing a lot of people who voted for Trump go back on their vote.
The main thing about Epstein that everyone should know right now,
because of shit like this,
don't need the files. The files are in many ways meaningless. Yes, it would be great to have our law enforcement agencies doing their job and investigating the case and looking for evidence to take down people that were involved, whether they were co-conspirators or whether they were clients, so to speak. We don't need them, and we don't need those files because we already have in the public domain way more than enough to prosecute many people that were involved, to interview at least many more, and they're all just out there walking free.
Folks, one of the coolest things about being an American is questioning the narrative, questioning our government, demanding truth, and not being afraid to speak out about anything. Part of American history, if you go all the way back to the Boston Tea Party, is questioning a government that we view to be tyrannical. And this government has decades of lying under its belt, both Republican and Democrat. They owe it to us. We are the ones that foot the bill. We are the ones that can't afford health care, housing, food on the table, while these people are protecting a billionaire sex trafficking pedophile ring. So folks, I say to you, read as many books as you can. Get in the gym and get in fighting shape. Get ready to rumble, because if shit needs to hit the fan, you better be ready.
And Tommy G saying that you better listen to him.
I love my life, I love you, and I love this country. Signing off.
Oh shit, candidate Tommy G. Candidate Tommy G. Holy shit, I didn't even think that shit got that deep. Israel linked to the Epstein files?